Then it's live.
Thank you.
We brought back the bow tie, we brought back the bronze, we brought on some beauty. You know we're bringing back basketball. Let's get into the second day of action in the season opening Ziel tournament. Welcome back. We're 30 minutes from tip-off here, but before we start the most electrifying pregame show, here I'm joined by the glorious Garrett Chan and the marvelous Melinda Brancato, and I am, of course, your host, Matt Shermita. We got the best of the best today. If you're joining back from yesterday, welcome back. I know we have some new faces up here, but the subject matter is the same. It's basketball. If you're joining us for the first time, we're gearing up for some mid-afternoon basketball, a matinee game between the SUNY Poly Wildcats and the Keuka Wolves in this late afternoon game. So Garrett, let's talk about those Wolves here. A run-and-gun team who likes to push the ball up the court, struggled to get shots to fall yesterday. How does Keuka approach the Wildcats today, who gave up 104 points to the Oswego State Lakers yesterday?
Well, you mentioned it. You kind of talked about the shot percentage. First thing for the Wolves, can't be overly ambitious on the three ball. They attempted 31 shot attempts, which is the most of any of the four teams yesterday in those two games. So they were trying to shoot from beyond the arc, trying to get those money baskets. They weren't able to sink, which was basically the problem for them yesterday. And the thing with the Lakers yesterday, when they were facing the Wildcats were facing them, they attacked the paint a lot. So when you saw that the fact that the Wildcats were fouling 10 times in that first half, the Wolves can utilize their playmakers, Christian Sage, Devin Milton. They could go into the paint, force the Wildcats to kind of be on their heels a little bit. Then you talk about just the fact that they were playing from behind the entire game. Never had a lead, not even had a tie or game was even. They were down as little as 6, but they found themselves clawing from behind. That's something they're going to have to change, and it starts with the combo of Devin Milton, Christian Sage, and Mason Vandermoral. These are players that score double digits. They need a replication of those performances. You
certainly make great points. I want to talk about the inefficiency from the field from the Wildcats, as you mentioned. 38% from the floor, 21% from behind the perimeter. So, Melinda, how do the Wildcats flip the script today against the Keuka Wolves?
They need to go back to their basics. They need to be controlling their shots. They need to be paying attention to their passes and making sure that the players on the court are ready and good to go. They really, last night, just kind of fell back and, picking back up today, going back to basics.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. But not only is today a matinee, it's a marathon. We got a championship game being played later today between RPI and Oswego State. The Lakers shot a noble 51% yesterday, 45% from beyond the arc. Mel, if you're the Engineers, how do you approach this game on a defensive standpoint?
You know, defensively, they have to look out for their shooters. So looking out for Sparks, looking out for Bowman, Cook, Lazo on the court, stopping those shots, understanding where they're going to be on the court, and understanding those plays, cutting them off defensively, and getting ahead of them. And
they did well defensively yesterday against a run-and-gun team. RPI needs to do the same thing against the Lakers. If you're Jason Leone, how do you approach this game? Do you change the game plan up at all?
You're certainly going to have to make tweaks to your game plan. The thing with the Lakers yesterday when they faced the Wildcats is that it was Chekni Torre. It was a one-man show. You're not going to have that with the Engineers just because you're going to have the likes of Ngbazo, Match, and Avery Ukster. We start with Ngbazo, who recorded a double-double yesterday. We start with Match, who had 18 points of his own, a lethal from the three-point range. And you have Avery Ukster, who had 13 of his own. RPI has more offensive weapons that they can utilize. For the Lakers, you're going to have to rely on the big guys. You're going to have to rely on Cartier Bowman, Jamal Achille. And I would not be surprised if you see Tucker Rosebrook get some more playing time, getting some more minutes, because they have a lot of big guys that can not only go into the paint, but they can shoot from beyond the arc. And if you're the Lakers, you're going to have to change that aggressiveness a little bit. Yesterday we saw against the Wildcats where every time the Wildcats would check the ball in, the Lakers will already have a double team right away. You really can't do that against the Engineers because they have a game plan ready to attack from distance, and they have the players with that IQ to exploit those weaknesses.
Absolutely. And one advantage the Lakers already have in this tournament is the home court. These games obviously being hosted by Oswego State, who dominated yesterday on their own hardwood. And head coach Jason Leone shared his thoughts about hosting this tournament. We're going to take a look at what Jason Leone had to say.
I'm excited we're playing at home. You know, last year we played all of our non-league games on the road, so this year it'll be fun. The whole first semester we're going to be at home for our fans.
So Mel, after hearing from Jason Leone, how much does that home court advantage mean to the Lakers? How much does it matter?
You know, I think it makes a difference in the gameplay. Oswego Lakers, they have the Laker faithful. They've traveled with them in the past. He mentioned that they're able to stay home for the end of the semester, and I think that it's going to be a positive impact.
Absolutely. I mean, you saw the Laker faithful. They were wild last night. Bleachers were packed. How do the Engineers kind of tune out the noise and find their muse in today's matchup against Oswego State?
Well, we all know how rowdy and intense the Laker faithful can be. And for the Engineers, they've been in this position before where you're in a title game. You go back to their 2019-2020 season where they played in the Liberty League Championship. So they have an idea of how to play in these high-stakes championship affairs. The thing with this tournament specifically is that the Engineers, especially early on in the season, when you've played one game and then you're going against the Lakers at the Max Ziel, it's a little bit different because you don't expect this type of pressure early on. What you're going to have to do with the Engineers is you're really going to have to rely on your top three players, like Balzo, Matchett, and Eukster that I mentioned before. You really have to get those guys dialed in because once those three guys can lead the charge offensively, you're pretty much set because then the role players and the bench pieces can feed off what those three players are contributing. That will put the Engineers in a good spot. I
absolutely agree with you. I think they did a really good job yesterday and keeping the composure, but it's a completely different crowd today, completely different noise. Yeah, that's all. And, we have plenty more to talk about here on the pregame show, but we got a lot more time to do so. We're going to bounce things to a quick break before we step back here in the studio when we return.
Hey there, I'm Al Roker, class of 76. Yes, way back in 76. Back when the earth was cooling. You're watching WTOP.
The Kinda Late Show with Chloe and Anna. Like licorice, Twizzlers, absolutely nasty. The thought of turkey is just nauseating.
I think you're wrong, is what I think.
You think I'm wrong a lot of time.
I do think you're wrong a lot.
When you look at the number of disasters in the U.S., chances are every area will deal with some kind of emergency in the next decade. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
I guess I have really been looking for love in this dating app. Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
Just like the 2016 Cavs, we have come back. Here we are, coming right back into the pregame show. I'm joined by my great co-host. Peter Piper picked a heck of an analyst table today. I'm joined by the lean, mean Melinda Machine, and look up what's the word? Inspiration. in the dictionary. You'll find Garrett Chan. Sorry, that was a tough one for me. But here we go. All right, before we jump all the way in today's action, let's rewind to yesterday. We saw RPI take advantage of the Wolves, a hefty 89-70 victory. Melinda, what were some of the things that went right or wrong for these two teams?
RPI had great ball movement yesterday as they were rotating around the three-point line. They were able to get ahead with that three-point ball game, so I think that's something really important today that they can push forward as they play.
Yeah, you mentioned the three ball. Keuka certainly loved the three ball, 31 from downtown. So Garrett, are the Wildcats prepared for an opponent who likes to stretch the floor out?
Well, I like to say that if you're not prepared, you better make the adjustment soon. Because the thing with the Wildcats yesterday is that the Lakers kind of have a very similar play in terms of using players from all sides of the court, really stretching the ball out, passing it around the arc. So with the Wildcats, you're really going to need some of your athletic guys. We talked about Chekni Torre before. You also need Elijah Smith and some of those smaller players to kind of go around the perimeter and also make sure you shut down those passing lanes. Because with the Lakers and I'm sure with the Wolves, they're going to be exploring that with Christian Sage and Devin Milton. They have that high base basketball IQ where they can find those passing lanes and get those inside baskets.
Absolutely, and the Wildcats really want to get things going on defense today after letting up a 100-burger yesterday against the Oswego State Lakers, a whopping 104-66 victory for Oswego. Mel, what do you got for the Wildcats?
The Wildcats, they really need to brush up on their defense. They have to be able to cut those passes off, and they have to be able to get in front of those shooters.
Right, no, I agree. And then, Garrett, yesterday, for the Lakers, we saw a lot of involvement for the entire squad. Starters, the sixth man, the end of the bench, everyone really got involved yesterday.
Yeah, it was great to see. Of course, you know what to expect from Jeremiah, Sparks, Bowman, and all those people that you see in your starting five. But it's always, when you talk about a championship caliber team like the Lakers, it's all about depth. You gotta have those players on the bench that could contribute when you have those guys taking a break. And you saw role players, a lot of bench guys step up. That's certainly a great thing to see. Given that's the first game, you want to get a lot of those players in to get those minutes. It was good to see them come off the bench and make an impact in that game.
Certainly, and even though the bench made an impact for Oswego, there certainly was no shortage of standout guys for any of these teams. A lot of guys who had just hit their takeover badge like we're playing 2K. So I got to ask you, who has been the MVP of the Ziel tournament so far?
I think one player that sticks out for me is Johnny Ngbazo for the RPI Engineers. This guy has been an absolute stud, scoring 31 points yesterday, recording a double-double with 10 rebounds to go along with those 31 points. Scored the most out of anyone in the tourney this far. I mean, with the Engineers, when you have someone as good as Ngbazo, and then you could dish it off to Matchett or Eukster or Depi as well, you really can utilize with different weapons, and Ngbazo's going to be that centerpiece for the Engineers offense.
Yes. So despite the fact that Oswego didn't play as many of their senior players as they normally do, I'm going to go with Cartier Broman because I think as we see him play tonight, that leadership skills, especially, on the court, that's going to come through. Even with only 18 minutes of play, he had 16 points on the court last night. And so I'm looking forward to seeing him again.
Right, and these guys are certainly hungry to grab their team's wins today. For Keuka and SUNY Poly, what is the importance of at least grabbing one win in today's game, or in today's matchups?
Well, I think it's going to determine the momentum that they're going to take forth for the rest of their season. And so that's something to look at. How are they going to enter this game? Are they going to start out slower? Are they going to pick up the pace? Are they going to be able to use ball control as they start to pace things up as the game goes on?
Absolutely. I think it's really important to, start your season off on the right foot, get the momentum back in the right way. But for the Lakers and for RPI, what about starting undefeated, going out of this tournament 2-0?
It's going to be huge for either team that wins the championship game today. And given that all these opponents are out of conference, it's certainly a good measuring stick in terms of understanding that against these out-of-conference opponents, how do you stack up against everyone else? And whether you're the Lakers or the Engineers, coming out of tonight's contest in that championship game and starting the season 2-0, you got to feel good about the level of play you've had over the past couple of days from tonight and yesterday as well. Both teams had great offense to show for it. The defense stepped up a little bit from time to time. They had their moments. So going 2-0, you got to feel good as you start conference play over the next few weeks.
I completely agree. It's ultra important, again, to start off 2-0. Sets the tempo for the entire season. But tensions are starting to rise high here as time winds down to tip-off. So we got to throw it to another quick break. When we return, we'll make our last picks and predictions before we start some action right here on WTOP 10.
Say, President Stanley, whenever there's bad weather, who would you turn to?
I'd turn to Storm Team 10.
No, but you've got to say it like this. Storm Team 10. Say it with me. Storm Team 10.
Roll it. Jill
Should we
told me it
tell
was
him?
Kitty from Glee. Yeah, what is it?
Al Roker.
If this were Game 6 of the 98 finals, we'd be MJ, and this is our last shot. We got to make some picks and some predictions before we lob things over to Zach Malamud and Kenny Gerard in the Ziel. I'm still joined by Garrett Chan, still joined by Melinda Brancato. Here we go. Let's see Mel's players to watch for today.
All right, so starting off with, Keuka. I want to talk about our Kristen Sage, guard from Owego, New York. He last season transferred over from Casanova College. He averaged about 19.2 points per game. And I think last night he had a stellar game. He had great chemistry with the players on the court, despite being a transfer this year. So this was his first game with that team on the court, and I'm excited to see what he's going to do for tonight.
Absolutely. He certainly showed, the impact he's already making very early on. But how about for SUNY Poly? Who do you have?
For SUNY Poly, I'm going to go with Anthony Rose. He's a sophomore. He had about 4 points last night, and I think defensively he is going to be an interesting matchup on the court.
Absolutely. And then, Garrett, we'll get your picks here. Keuka, start it off.
We'll start with the Wolves. I'm going with the senior forward, Mason Vandermoortel. Yesterday, he came off the bench. He was a guy that came in and provided some offense apart from Sage and Devin Milton. 12 points yesterday, a quarter block, led the team with 27 blocks in last season. He's just a great defensive player that could go two ways, and I expect a lot here in this consolation game.
It's a great pick. And for Poly?
For Poly, I'm going with the Chekni Torre. Yesterday was basically the Chekni Torre show for the Wildcats. He had 23 points. It was just him. I mean, his next scoring leader was Majesty Johnson with 5. I mean, if there's a player that could repeat what he did yesterday, I think it's Torre, and hopefully he gets a little bit more help this afternoon.
I mean, Torre was really that standout. A lot of high-scoring games yesterday. We'll see if that's still on today's menu. Let's go over our predictions for the first game between the Holland Keuka Wolves and the Poly Wildcats. Garrett, we'll start with you.
I'm going with the Wolves on this one, 82-75. Like I said, you have Sage, you have Milton, you have more offensive weapons that you can utilize. I think that's going to be the key to their success today. The Wildcats, I haven't seen enough from them, from everyone else aside from Torre. That's why I think the Wolves will take this one.
All right, and Mel?
I'm going to go with Keuka as well. 73-64 is my prediction against Poly. I really think that the pacing that they're going to have on the court, their ability to get penetration towards the hoop is going to be beneficial for them tonight.
I completely agree with both of you. I'm sticking with you guys. It's the Wolves. 71-63. I don't think it'll be as high scoring of a game. They hit 70 yesterday. I kind of, basing off that play, I don't think Poly's defense is as strong as RPI's, but I still don't think they scratch much higher than 70. It could be a high game, just like, the other day, or yesterday, sorry.
Yeah.
But, yeah, 71-63 is my guess.
Nice.
We'll get into some picks for the later games, but I just want to talk about the importance of Keuka really setting the tempo in terms of scoring today, because they couldn't get it started yesterday. How do they do that? Where can they find their rhythm?
Well, it starts with Milton because he's always leading the charge. He always needs the ball in his hand, and then you can use Christian Sage on the perimeter to have that open three-point shot. I think with the Wolves, you saw yesterday they never had a lead. They were down. They got off to that rough start. Always had to play from behind. So you got to reverse the script a little bit. Learn to play with the lead. Also, be a little bit more cautious and smart with the ball. Don't turn it over as much. I believe in those 4 games, out of the 4 teams, it was the Wolves that kind of seemed to have the most turnovers, seemed to give the ball up. You need to cut down on those turnovers. And then the Wildcats, they aren't the strongest team defensively. So the Wolves, you want to exploit those passing lanes. Go inside the paint. You saw the Wildcats. They drew so much, inflicted so much contact on the Lakers yesterday. The Wolves can use that to their advantage.
I agree, and you made a statement that the Poly Wildcats defense wasn't the strongest. We've been talking about it really the whole pregame show. Do you think they need to be maybe a little more aggressive on defense or maybe a little smarter? What do you think they need to do, Mel?
I think they need to be a little bit smarter. I mean, you notice as time goes on and you get more tired as gameplay goes, they start slapping at players and their fouls come up. It puts the other team into the bonus earlier, which gives them the opportunity to get those points on foul shots that don't necessarily need to happen.
Right, I think we saw a lot of lousy play on defense yesterday against the Lakers. They really were lackluster, for lack of a better term, just allowing way too many easy buckets for the Lakers, even to the second and third units on the floor. Just wide open shots being taken. And the Wildcats, they have to just do a better job not being exploited today. Keuka has to exploit that bad defense today. I certainly agree that it's going to be a lopsided game in favor of the Wolves. But that's going to do it for our show. Shot clock's about to expire. I know all good things must come to an end, but we'll send things over to Kenny Gerard, Zach Malamud in the Ziel. That's it for the pregame show. For Garrett, for Mel. We'll see you on the other side of the first half of action.
Hey there, I'm Al Roker, class of 76. Yes, way back in 76. Back when the earth was cooling. You're watching WTOP.
The Candlelight Show with Chloe and Anna. Like licorice, Twizzlers, absolutely nasty.
The thought of turkey is just nauseating.
I think you're wrong, is what I think.
You think I'm wrong a lot of time.
I do think you're wrong a lot.
When you look at the number of disasters in the U.S., chances are every area will deal with some kind of emergency in the next decade. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
I guess I have really been looking for love in this dating app. Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
As well as Oswego State taking on RPI. And Kenny, let's just get right into things, starting off with looking at today. These teams really, fast starts is a big thing for them. Getting ahead early, a huge takeaway for today's game.
That's right. We have the Consolation game coming up first between Poly and Keuka. And a big thing for these teams is they don't want to start off 0-2. One of these guys wants to come out here with a win. A 1-1 start is better than 0-2. And to get off to a fast start, you need a win. So one of these guys has got to come away with a win here today. It's going to be a matter of who wants it more.
And just looking at it, I'll start off quickly. A standout player heading into this one. I'll start off with the first game between Keuka and SUNY Poly. I'm going with Devin Milton, the grad student, the guard for Keuka. He had 20 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists yesterday. Really led the way from the top of the key and was just controlling things. I think he's going to be a big player against SUNY Poly today.
Well, I think I'm going to take up the second game here where the Engineers take on the Lakers. I'm going to take an Engineer from RPI. Number 11, Johnny Ngbazo, scored 31 points yesterday in their matchup. I think he's going to be electric tonight against Oswego. He's going to be the reason if RPI wins this game or falls in the tournament.
And we're going to send it down to our sideline reporter, Emily Mike. She has more on the matchups today.
Hi, I'm Emily. So I just want to start off by saying this is Polly's first time in the Ziel, so there's always a little bit of a damper when it comes to being in a new environment. They traded opportunities with the Lakers yesterday, and they played a really good game in the beginning. I do think, however, that the downfall was just that it's a new environment, so maybe we'll see a little bit more growth today. And from Keuka, they played a great game versus RPI. They had really impressive points with 20 points and 4 steals from Devin Milton, 5 rebounds from Jaden Kesey, and a huge boost from Christian Sage's 25 points. Keuka was really great at rolling with the punches and bouncing back, so I think that they're going to get out with the win today. All right, back to you guys up there.
This week, I sat down with Jeremiah Sparks on Laker Connections. Here's what he had to say before today's game.
I love the 5 guys you brought in. They're blending well. They're adapting to our system, learning on the fly, and they're good people. They want to play, they want to learn, and I love having them as a team.
And Kenny, Sparks talking about those new recruits coming in, some big additions for the Lakers this season.
Yeah, some huge additions that are going to help lead them back and hopefully to their championship run yet again.
And we're going to send it to a quick break. After this, we'll get ready for SUNY Poly taking on Keuka. Zach Malin and Kenny Gerard on the call right here on WTOP 10.
Welcome back to Major Discussions.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Hey there, I'm Al Roker, class of 76. Yes, way back in 76. Back when the earth was cooling. You're watching WTOP.
Hello, everybody. Welcome on inside Max Ziel Gymnasium as we get set for a matchup, a non-conference matchup between the Keuka College Wolves and the SUNY Poly Wildcats. Zach Malamud alongside Kenny Gerard, Emily Mike, our sideline reporter today, and the second day of the Max Ziel tournament here in Oswego, New York. Kenny, it should be a good one, this first matchup between the Wildcats and the Wolves.
That's right, another day, another doubleheader, and we got our consolation game coming up first between Keuka and Poly, and someone's looking to come away with a win here to get out their season on the right foot.
And here on WTOP 10, we have some good matchups, and we'll just talk about yesterday's games because both these teams really struggled on the defensive side. We'll talk about Keuka first. They lost to RPI 89-70, and they just could not handle RPI's offense. They scored a fair amount of points, 70 up on the board, but defensively they really need to pick things up today.
That's right. You got to pick up some defense there. You know, defense wins championships, they always say. And it seems that Keuka's defense was lacking. Their offense was striking in all cylinders. While you take a look at the other side, SUNY Poly playing Oswego. Poly only putting up 66 points and letting Oswego drop 104 points. Their defense as well lacking.
I was going to say, we're bringing up SUNY Poly, just different ways that they needed to handle that Oswego State offense. They did well early. Oswego came out a little bit slow, and credit to SUNY Poly on the defensive side. What do you think they really need to do today to move that and try and beat up this Keuka side?
Well, I'm going to say the same thing we've been talking about. Defense, defense, defense. We need a lot of defense today from both sides. SUNY Poly, if they could play some solid defense, hold Keuka just to not get those offensive drives, shut down those lanes, play big and strong in the paint, they have a solid shot at winning this game.
It should be a good matchup between these two sides. The consolation game, a first of a doubleheader here at Max Ziel today. As Keuka will be in all yellow today with green numbers, and SUNY Poly will be in blue with yellow numbers. As we get set for tip-off, and we are underway, Keuka wins the tip. Kristen Sage gives it off to Camden Banks. There's Kristen Sage. Had 24 yesterday, could not get the first shot to go. Chickney Torre will find LJ Randall. Back up top for Poly, Alex Schmidt, the freshman guard, gets it to Josh Ernst. Torre finds Anthony Rose. He'll take it into the lane, and he traveled. And too many steps there in the lane.
Yep, too many steps down the lane, and we've seen exactly what we were just talking about earlier. Tough play in the paint. The defense has been good so far down low. They have someone guarding the basket and not allowing up those easy layup shots.
Keuka brings it up, and a three goes up, rattles out. That one from Devin Milton. As Poly will look to get the first points on the board. Nate Mbayamba. Mar Jackson. As it's swatted away by Keuka. Kristen Sage on the fast break. Throws it up, and the block from Chickney Torre right at the rim. Torre. Now it's Anthony Rose. Pull-up jumper. It rattles out. Both teams struggling a little bit early here.
Yeah, some great defense down in the post, trying to get them to take some ugly shots and some weird mid-range jumpers. Not allowing anybody to put up any points yet. Already a minute and a half into this game.
As Kesey gets it up, and Camden Banks takes it into the lane. He is fouled, and he'll go to the line to shoot two.
And you know, there are some risks, I guess, that comes with playing some post defense, and that's one of them. Letting up a foul and giving them two shots from the charity stripe.
Camden Banks, the sophomore guard. He stands at 5'10", but he can take it into the lane. The size really doesn't matter for him, and he's shown that already early in this one.
That's right, yeah. He is maybe not the 6'5" guy on the team, but he surely plays like he's 6'6".
Banks, the sophomore guard from Titusville, Florida. Sinks both free throws, and we have our first points of the day at Ziel. Schmidt finds Josh Ernst. Schmidt tries to get it down low, tipped away by Keuka. Good defense by Jaden Kesey.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of good defense and not a lot of good offense. We're seeing simple mistakes down in the mid-range and in the post, just nothing happening for either side.
Torre takes it inside. Schmidt, the open corner three, and it bounces off the rim. And Keuka will look to move. Quickly with Milton. Almost traveled there, caught him though. T-Hen into the lane, can't hit the layup. Torre, good 1-2 with Rose. And an easy layup for SUNY Poly, straight through that Keuka defense.
First layup I've seen of the day with the post defense finally breaking through. Keuka looks to try to do the same, and they do.
Right away with the answer, Devin Milton, a guy that I talked about before the game, should have a really solid impact for the Wolves today.
Yeah, Devin Milton is the kind of guy to slice and dice defenses, making lanes for himself, even if the team's giving him nothing to look at.
There's a pull-up jumper off the backboard, and in the Banks Open on Saturday, Kenny.
Yeah, well, if they got a backboard, use it.
There's a good move inside, and the foul. Camden Banks has 4 points now for Keuka.
And now we've got a 6-4 game. Some points finally showing on the board here in this last minute and a half.
Both teams trying to get their offenses going. A substitution for SUNY Poly. They make the first sub of the game. Schmidt goes to the bench. And checking in is Brandon Holmes, the junior guard from Troy, New York. Banks converts the N1. It's 7-4, 17 minutes to go here at Max Ziel. First half of the Consolation game. LJ Randall. Great pass by Chekni Torre. Finds Ernst down low, and he sinks it.
Yeah, the zone just broke down there on defense. Just nobody home to stop the easy layup.
Christian Sage tries to get around Brandon Holmes. Knocked down. They call a foul on that one. And Poly getting in some early foul trouble. 3 fouls already, not even 4 minutes into this one.
Yeah, we're seeing a bad trend starting here for SUNY Poly. 3 fouls to Keuka 0. Not where they want to be this early off in the game.
This ball tipped around. Keuka still have it. It's Kesey to Milton. Milton into the lane, and he walked.
A little bit of a travel there. I think he took more than 2 steps.
It's Milton. I brought up his game yesterday. 20 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. He's just leading the way. He played the most minutes yesterday for the Wolves, 33 of them. And they just have trust in their grad student as Holmes misses a 3, and the rebound is tapped back in by Dylan Ernst. Here's Milton, and he cannot hit it. But a lot of trust in their grad student guard, Devin Milton.
Yeah, I mean, Milton last year averaging 31 minutes per game played and averaging 21.1 points. He's a solid player for this Keuka team.
As SUNY Poly have gone on a run, a 7-0 run in the last couple minutes. They lead 11-7. It was Anthony Rose who just hit a 3, and Keuka just lacking on defense. We talked about defense being a big thing before the game. Can't leave those wide open shooters.
No, you can't. And maybe that's why SUNY Poly is actually in a bit more foul trouble, because they're being more aggressive down low. They're shutting down lanes. They're being tough around the basket, and that's exactly what they need to do.
As both teams coming off the loss, needing to bounce back. SUNY Poly has been the better team early now with 11 points up on the board. 16 minutes left. Zach Malamud alongside Kenny Gerard, Emily Mike, our sideline reporter today. Thank you for joining us here at Max Ziel Gymnasium on WTOP 10. Keuka will bring the ball up with Christian Sage. Sage looking for options. Tehan into the lane, and he's fouled.
And we see another foul for foul for SUNY Poly. Their 4th on the night, and Keuka still big donut on their foul column.
So that one goes on SUNY Poly and Brandon Holmes. It's Tehan who makes the first. Junior guard from Victor, New York. And he hits the front rim on the second. It's 11-8, 15:45 to go in the first half. Torre to Comstock. Now in the corner driving in, and Ernst can't hit it. Good ball movement. Holmes a wide open 3. And tried to get it. A foul called on the floor. Still questioning who it's on. It's on SUNY Poly, and it's going to go on Dylan Ernst.
And there's SUNY Poly's 5th now. So now we are talking some serious foul trouble with 15:27 to go. Not the start you want in terms of fouls for SUNY Poly. While the score is in their favor, they may need to reel it back just a little bit on defense.
And obviously some motivation coming into this game, maybe a little bit too aggressive, and just got to stay away from that overall, Kenny.
Yeah, they were looking to get more aggressive on defense, make some more stops, and they have to find that that little balance in the middle, but they're just not finding it so far.
Keuka have it with Sage in the paint, and another travel as the feet are getting a little happy so far in this one, Kenny.
Yeah, it looks like the court might be a little slick for Keuka as they continue to travel, and maybe they have a couple suitcases on the sideline.
There you go, as Torre brings it up for Poly. Dylan Ernst, a handoff to Brandon Holmes. Torre looking to get going. Finds Holmes. Inside to Ernst. Good spin move, knocked his defender down, and it's an offensive foul. And that's going to be the second on Dylan Ernst, and they just cannot seem to get away from foul trouble right now.
No, that was a good call. I mean, 6 fouls to none. SUNY Poly's really, at this point, he's got to reel it back. We're only a quarter of the way through this half, having 6 fouls on the verge of putting Keuka in the bonus. Not where you want to be.
Sage brings it up. And Ernst is going to stay in the game for SUNY Poly. An interesting call for the Wildcats, and a 3 is drained by Mason Van de Mortel. His first points of the day, and we're tied at 11. Ernst can't hit it, gets to the offensive rebound. Torre from deep, and he drills it.
And that's why Torre was the top scorer in yesterday's game, and he looks to be the same today. Another big 3 there. Great shot by Torre.
Torre had 3 3-pointers yesterday. Gets his first of the day. Torre to Holmes. On the inside, and an N1. And SUNY Poly, it's a game of runs, and they're going on a couple in this first half.
That's right. It is a game of runs. We're not seeing a lot of back and forth action. We're just seeing run after run after run. And right now, SUNY Poly's on the run and finally had Keuka commit a foul.
And Holmes with 2 buckets so far today. Looking to add to his total here. And he drills it. 5 points for Holmes on the day as Keuka trail now 17-11. Sage looking to get going, and a behind-the-back pass right into the hands of the defender. Torre to Holmes. Holmes all the way through the lane, and it looked like Keuka was in the area. It's going to be a blocking foul on the inside as Elijah Ellis couldn't get there and set for the charge.
You know, we're talking about runs. We're seeing a run of fouls now. We saw SUNY Poly go on a run. That was like Keuka's getting a little bit of a run of fouls as well.
As a substitution, we're going to wait on the substitution as it's going to be a couple of free throws here for Holmes. It's the back rim on the first one as Sage will take his first seat of the day for the Wolves. And coming in is Zeke Pulliam. Holmes can't hit either free throw, and it stays at a 6-point lead. Milton, the open triple, and it doesn't go. Torre finds Holmes. Holmes, good idea down low, but great defense by Keuka as he was trying to find LJ Randall.
Yeah, good poke there by Elijah Ellis to disrupt the play, send the ball out of bounds. Way to reset and get everybody back together.
As Anthony Rose comes back in for the Wildcats. Gets it to Randall. Randall double team down low. Still finds Holmes. Randall inside. Josh Ernst can't hit it. The Wolves move the other way. A pass on the inside, and Holmes tried to get in front there just a little bit too late, and that's his second foul. Another big foul for the Wildcats.
Yeah, we're seeing multiple Wildcats in foul trouble right now. And we're seeing also a lot of very easy shots being missed. We're seeing a lot of misses from the charity stripe, which should be the easiest shot in basketball. We're seeing down low, not a lot of shots being made. And that's why so far we have 13:03 left, and it's only 17-11.
And Holmes is going to have to come out of this one. Alex Schmidt comes into the game. As Ellis hits the first. .03 remaining in the first half, and Ellis hits both free throws. We got a 4-point game, 17-13 in favor of SUNY Poly. Torre to Rose. Over to Schmidt. Back to Randall. Torre. Another three, and it bounces out of bounds. A good idea there for a guy who's been pretty hot so far this season.
Yeah, he's been great the first game. So far, not too bad today. I mean, if I were the coach, I'd want him taking the shots as well.
The Wolves trying to go on a run here as they trail by 4. Ellis gets it back to Van de Mortel, and he can't hit the three. Hit one earlier. Maybe some confidence coming from Van de Mortel there.
Maybe a little bit of confidence. And both sides I've seen have great ball movement so far, but the defenses have been pretty good so far. They're shutting down the lanes. They're locking right up. They're staying in their zones. They're doing exactly what they need to do to keep this a low-scoring affair on both sides of the court.
12:20 to go in the first half. Milton denied by Rose. Tried to keep it in bounds, but a good play there by the Wildcats.
A great athletic play that always looks so cool when it works out.
Baseline out of bounds now for Keuka. Pulliam finds Ellis. Ellis on the inside. Back to Pulliam. Ellis, the corner jumper is no good. Torre tries to find Rose. A good idea there, but just caught his big man off guard.
Yeah, Rose wasn't ready for the pass, just a little bit too far outside. Well, if it were baseball, that's a ball.
One of my favorite lines, big man runs the floor, big man gets the ball. Rose did that there, just couldn't get him the ball, though.
That's right, big man did run the floor, but big man did not get the ball.
Pulliam brings it up. Sage. Van de Mortel, and he hits his second three of the day. We got a 1-point game.
Yeah, Van de Mortel getting a little bit of confidence there, second three of the day. Keep feeding him the rock.
Schmidt to Torre. Josh Ernst. A great pass by Randall as he saw the backdoor cut, and they finish. That's Josh Ernst with 6 points for the Wildcats. Ellis on the other end. We got one of those, the wedgie at the backboard and right on the rim.
That is not something you see every day. The Magic once in a while wedgie of the ball on the hoop. And that's pretty impressive. That should count for at least a point.
It should. As Keuka with the substitution. As Tyler Green will check out of this one. And Matt Creek gets his first action of the day. Great pass by Torre. And the facilitator finds Rose down low.
Torre doing what Torre's been doing the past 2 games. Being a leader on the team, making shots.
Van de Mortel with another three. That one bounces off the rim. Great offensive rebound by Creek, and he's fouled.
Yeah, way to put that ball up by Creek. Knew that there was 2 defenders on him, and he was kind of hoping that one of them would slash, and one of them slashed.
It's actually interesting, Kenny. Yesterday, Cheikhne Torre, and we've seen how much he has the ball. He didn't have an assist yesterday. So he's had a couple so far today. Maybe that was one of the problems going up against Oswego State. He really relied on his scoring, had 23 points in the end, but maybe passing the ball more could have added some points for the Wildcats.
Yeah, that's right. It's always good to, pass it out, dish it around to your teammates, use the depth on your team. I think maybe that was his problem. Maybe you're right. Maybe those assists are going to benefit SUNY Poly instead of just him shooting the ball all game long.
10 minutes, 50 seconds remaining in the first half. Zach Mallow and Kenny Gerard, Emily Mike on WTOP 10. It's 21-16 SUNY Poly taking on Keuka in the consolation game of the Max Ziel tournament. And Anthony Rose just keeps adding to his total so far today. And gets another bucket there for the Wildcats.
That's a scary man to meet down the paint. Rose just knows how to make a play happen. Doesn't matter how many guys are on him.
Some turnovers by each team, and Matt Creek almost took advantage of it. The foul goes on the Wildcats. I believe that's on Torre.
I believe that is on Torre, and Creek is going to get another pair from the charity stripe. You know, he's doing a good job at drawing those fouls and getting what should be the easy shots.
Correction, that's actually on Elijah Smith. That's going to be his first. We talk about the foul trouble for SUNY Poly. Don't want Torre anywhere near that. That's the big thing for today.
Yeah, agreed. And now you have 9 fouls with over half of this half left. Not a good look. You're on pace for 20 fouls. Not good. Lots of foul trouble going into the half.
Creek makes both free throws. And we're going to have a timeout by Keuka as Jake Scott will talk things over with his team. And the Wolves down 5. We had some predictions earlier in our pregame show. Everybody in the studio today said Keuka was going to take this one. Hasn't been as easy so far for the Wolves. They trail by 5. What do you think they need to do to really bounce back? I think turnovers, I'll just add to it here. I think that's a huge thing right now.
Yeah, turnovers are definitely huge. And also, SUNY Poly, as we mentioned multiple times, 9 fouls. That means they've had at least 18 shots from the charity stripe, and they have 18 points so far in this game. I think if they can convert on the easy shots, they're going to have a much better chance of coming into this game. If they made every free throw, they'd be much closer in this game.
As we have 10:19 remaining, and it's going to be interesting to see what SUNY Poly does here. For them, just on the other side, what should they do for the rest of this half now?
Well, I feel like the easy answer is stop fouling.
Yeah.
You got to get a little bit looser down on defense, which I know is weird to say when we've been harping on defense all day. But maybe just lay off a little bit. Put your hands up. Take the charges once in a while. They're playing great, solid defense while they're in the lead, but that solid defense may end up actually costing them if they get into more foul trouble and lose some of their star players like Torre, like Rose, like Smith.
As Poly will inbound the ball underneath their own basket. We'll get back underway in this first half. A 5-point lead for the Wildcats. As Torre will bring it up. Finds LJ Randall, back to Torre. Rose on the inside and an offensive foul. Great job there by Vanda Mortel on the inside to draw the charge.
That's exactly what we were talking about. That's what we need to see SUNY Poly doing, taking in some of those charges. As now they've hit that 10 foul mark with 10 minutes left. They're averaging a foul per minute. Definitely not a good pace to be on if you want to keep your star players on the court. As that one goes on Rose, who has been very good down low, and it would not be good to lose a guy of his caliber for foul trouble and not even getting into the half yet.
Rose's first foul of the game. As Keuka trying to take advantage of it, and the pass was just too far ahead as Will Tehan charged with the turnover there.
Yeah, we've seen that a lot today. Lots and lots of turnovers, and that seems to be a big name of the game, why it's such a low-scoring game. Yes, it's the defense, but if a team can't keep possession of the ball, we're not going to see many shots being put up.
Torre to Randall and Rose. Ernst. Torre, Randall, great pass on the backdoor cut, and Josh Ernst up to 8 points in this first half.
Keep feeding the big man because Ernst is making those easy layups, well, look easy.
Sage finally gets going. His first points of the day. Had a big game yesterday. Really started strong, 25 of them, and just gets his first 2 in the first half. As Holmes can't answer with the 3. Sage. Cross court. Vanda Mortel. Sage. Looking for options. Teahen, pull-up jumper from the free throw line. It doesn't go. Holmes stepped out of bounds. And a turnover for SUNY Poly.
Yeah, a little ugly mistake there for the Wildcats. But the good thing on SUNY Poly just did some great defense, forcing an ugly jump from the mid-range, a shot that usually doesn't go in 9 out of 10 times. And that's exactly what they got to do. Keep them out of the paint, keep themselves out of foul trouble, but force them to take ugly shots just in that weird mid-range spot, half jumper, just not ready to shoot.
Milton, double dribbled, and another turnover.
And that's exactly what we were talking about. Lots of turnovers, not a lot of points, a lot of mistakes being made on both sides of the court.
Torre brings things up. Only 3 points for Poly's leading scorer. Pass on the inside, and Rose with a nifty move and finish. Milton finds Tyler Green, back to Sage, and he's denied. Dylan Ernst has been in some foul trouble. Not called for the foul there, swats Sage away.
What a beautiful athletic play there. Way to literally lay it all out on the line for your team.
Banks will inbound. Gets it into Sage. 15 on the shot clock. And a wide open drive to the lane for Camden Banks. He's got 7. Jarrett Wilbur at the top of the key. Torre. Rose wide open and can't hit it. Milton to Banks. He'll try a 3. And that one doesn't go. And a foul called on Devin Milton. And the struggles really continue so far for Keuka. Not shooting well from the field. They've gotten a lot of opportunities at the free throw line. But from open play, it just has not worked for them so far.
No, we're really not seeing much from open play. Like we said, lots of fouls, lots of free throws, but not a lot of action when they're running down the court so far. And that's one of their big struggles and why they're behind right now.
Wilbur off balance somehow. Gets it off the backboard.
Love to see a big guy athletic play like that. A little reverse windmill action to get the fans going here.
A drive to the lane for Keuka. And Jaden Kesey gets that one to fall. A 5-point game, 7 minutes to go in the first half. 29-24, SUNY Poly. Rose can't respond. And the Wolves looking to go on a run. Banks doesn't see Milton driving through the lane. Green, pull-up jumper, too strong. And Poly will slow things down.
Yeah, we looked at that last drive from Keuka. Keuka just not seeing everything on the court. We saw Milton wide open. Clear drive to the basket, an easy 2 points. It looks like they're just not having their eyes up. Not a lot of good heads-up basketball so far from Keuka. And that might be what's costing them just a little bit here.
An open 3 from the corner for Randall. And Ernst. Oh, and almost got away with one there. He chucked the ball, almost hit the referee. Was almost getting in technical range.
Yeah, I guess when you're in foul trouble, a technical is probably not the best thing to do. Just got to keep your emotions in check this early on.
It's a big foul for Dylan Ernst. 3rd of the half for him, and he's going to probably sit for the rest of the half now. Keuka, with all of those fouls from Poly, they're just getting double bonus trips to the free throw line for the rest of the half.
Yeah, they're going to be getting free throws we've been talking about. And, I mean, when you're only up 5 on a team and this much foul trouble and just letting up free throws is going to be very costly the later we get into this game. Now, if Keuka can start converting on all of these free throws, they're going to put SUNY Poly in some serious trouble.
As Green at the line. He didn't have a field goal yesterday, went 0 for 3 on the afternoon. But he makes both here, gets his first 2 points of the day. And we have a 3-point game with 6:15 to go in the first half. Randall to Rose. Good defense by the Wolves. 14 on the shot clock. Wilbur back to Rose. Torrey, Rose, an open three, and he sinks it.
Rose can play good down low, and Rose can shoot from the three-point line. Rose so far doing a lot for SUNY Poly to keep them in the lead here over Keuka.
As Banks tries to respond and can't do it. And they'll hand it back to SUNY Poly with a 6-point lead now. And Rose just has ice in his veins right now. Nobody can really stop him on Keuka.
No, everybody's got to watch out for that man. That's a bad man on the court right there. Rose being everything that SUNY Poly needs right now.
14 points of the 32. Torrey can't leave him open. Rose, another. How about it? Timeout, Keuka. Anthony Rose, 17 first half points.
And Rose is blooming in this first half. He's hitting threes. He's getting down low. He's making stops. He's all around the court, and Rose is a huge reason why SUNY Poly now has a 9-point lead over Keuka.
5:24 to go. A 9-point lead, like you said, Kenny. And he's just been wide open. The Wolves are just trying to work in their zone on defense. They're playing, it looks like a 3-2, and they just have not been able to keep up with Rose, who's just standing wide open on the three-point line.
Yeah, Keuka's just letting him go to the top of the key, leaving him wide open. He makes a three that was contested, and let's leave him open on the next drive. Well, that's a mistake because he's going to take advantage of that every single time. He's been good down low. He's been good up top. I mean, Keuka just doesn't seem to know where to protect in the paint to keep him from shooting.
I was going to say, so now looking at that for the Wolves, what do you got to do? Well, I mean, that's really, it's pretty a basic answer there to just guard him on the three-point line. But do you put a double team on him? Do you put some more pressure on him?
Right. I mean, you could change up your zone, have more guys up top. You could switch into a man, and you could have someone covering him at all times. Yeah. Take your best defender. Put him on Rose. But if that doesn't work, maybe switch up the zone. Find something new. Whatever they're doing right now is just not working to guard Rose, and Rose is taking advantage of the defense.
And Rose coming off a game where he really struggled yesterday against Oswego State. The big men were really able to shut him down. He shot 2 for 9 yesterday, 4 points on the day, and he's telling people, yeah, I'm still here right now.
Yeah, he's out here to prove himself and prove that yesterday was just a fluke for him, and he's here to prove himself against the Keuka Wolves.
The Wolves trying to get a bucket here to stop this run. Devin Milton, an open jumper, and the mid-range falls for him.
A way to get a shot for your team to give them a little bit more momentum as Rose just went on a run and kind of suck the momentum out of the Keuka bench, trying to get some momentum back on their side.
Rose to Torrey. Keuka almost got caught on defense with Comstock wide open. But Randall has it, 10 on the shot clock. Wolves looking for a stop. Rose almost traveled, 4 on the shot clock, and great defense by Jaden Kesey.
Yeah, you had Kesey and you had Sage in a double team there, shutting them down, and you can't let Rose be the only option. But hey, double team means someone's going to be open.
It's a turnover there from Kesey, but maybe on that last possession we saw the double team come in. Maybe that was talked about in the timeout.
Hey, you're probably going to say they had their zone switch up where they crash if he comes down low, have somebody up around the top of the key. If he's about to shoot, have somebody jump up and cover him. Whatever they did there worked to shut him down, not allow him to get an easy shot or an easy layup.
Van de Mortel comes in for Kesey for the Wolves. Torrey and Milton thought he had one, but got his hand too close to the cookie jar right there.
Yeah, got himself caught with his hand in the cookie jar is right. That's a little bit too much, and here we go. I'm going to restart play again.
35-28, 4:09 remaining in this first half. Zach Malin, Kenny Gerard, Emily Mike here on WTOP 10. The Wildcats of SUNY Poly looking to bounce back after yesterday's loss to Oswego State, taking on Keuka College, who is also looking to bounce back their loss to RPI. We'll have the championship game coming up at 4 o'clock. All three of us will be on the call for that one. Excited for Oswego State taking on RPI.
Yeah, another good matchup coming later after this one. Got the consolation game, seeing who could take home a win to start off their season. Well, next we're going to find out who's going 2-0 and walking away with the Max Ziel Championship bragging rights after that game.
Poly have it with Torrey, Randall, Josh Ernst, who's been dominant so far this first half, and he adds to his total an and one for Ernst.
Yeah, and they started to, look up to Rose and start to slow him down, but they forgot about Ernst, and now leaving Ernst a little bit more open for those big opportunities. It doesn't matter if he's open or if he's double-teamed. He's a big body, and he's making big plays.
Rose will check out of this one. A deserved rest for Anthony Rose. He's had 17 in this first half. Josh Ernst converts the and one, and Poly have a 10-point lead at Ziel. Sage to Tehen, Milton looking for Sage, and it's tipped away by Torrey. Great hands by the guard.
Way to keep that inbounds by Torrey and make a drive out of this with SUNY Poly coming down, looking to extend their lead over Keuka with 2:54 left here in the first half.
Brandon Holmes, mid-range jumper off the back rim. Tehen with the rebound. Milton, Tehen, and a blocking foul called on Holmes. Believe that's going to be number 3 on him.
I believe that is Holmes' third foul, and we're only here in the first half. Not good for SUNY Poly. A lot of fouls, and that seems to be something they're going to have to fix going into the next half.
And Rose, how about it? Comes out of the game, maybe gets a little rest. Nope, you're right back in. We're in foul trouble.
We're in foul trouble. Get back out there. He's been playing great all game long. A well-deserved, 30 seconds of rest, but hey, rest is rest.
We do have 2:45 till the half, but it is an 8-point game for Poly. Looking to add to it here. Randall. Torrey. Great pass to Rose, and Tehen couldn't get ahead of him there. Just the eyes of Torrey. I talked about it earlier. It wasn't shown yesterday. No assist, but he's been dishing the ball out easily today.
Yeah, he has been getting a lot of assists, and that has seemed to really work in SUNY Poly's favor. Yesterday, not having no assists at all is actually the answer. And now he has, a few so far, and he's letting his teammates get some shots up, even throwing in the ball down low to let up these charity stripe shots that SUNY Poly has been using to their advantage, unlike Keuka has, missing those easy shots. Well, SUNY Poly is going to build on these free throws that they were given.
It's interesting, we came into this one talking about Torrey's game yesterday, 23 points and then no assists. And now it's kind of the opposite. He's riding the hot hand with Rose, and why not? Rely on your big men right now.
That's right, rely on your big men. Do what's working. If going down low is working and your big men are playing a great game, then continue to dish it down low. Don't even take the shots if you don't have to.
It's Milton. A great pass down low. Sage, and the shot clock will expire. A great defensive possession. And how about the bench for the Wildcats? They're loving it right now.
The Wildcats are roaring on their bench right now. Loud, electric, almost distracting the Keuka Wolves, who are not howling right now.
Rose. Hand off to Torrey. Rose thought about the three inside. It's too easy right now for the big man.
That's a bad man. He has been playing excellent so far. He's making hard shots, easy shots, doing everything on the court. While we talked about Milton earlier, there he is again. A beautiful layup. It's the Milton versus Rose show right now.
Milton up to 6 points. Has been in foul trouble so far this afternoon, 3 of them. But has 6 points up on the board. Leads cut to 9. Just over a minute to play. Torrey with some silky smooth handles. And Abuense got a little too handsy. It's going to be a 1-and-1 for Torrey.
Yeah, and that's how they're going to use the foul to their advantage, hoping to drop the first. You need the first to get the second, so hoping to get 2 free points here on the board for Torre, who has not scored at all yet today and has been great in assisting and throwing it out to his teammates as he finally gets a point of his own.
Minute 2 remaining in this first half. SUNY Poly have come out strong as Torre looks for the second free throw here. Rattles in. He's up to 5 points on the afternoon. 11-point lead for the Wildcats. We hit 1 minute remaining in the first half. Abuense. A good pass inside by Tihen. Spin around floater for Milton, doesn't go.
Not much available for him there. Just going to have to take the weird mid-range shot, which we were talking about earlier, shutting down those lanes, leaving no options, and forcing a bad shot out of Keuka and Milton.
Torre takes it in, and believe it's going to go on Milton. A huge foul for Keuka. That's number 4. When we talk about they're down in this game, and they want their big player on the floor, but there's the risk right there. 4 fouls. He's 1 away from being fouled out. We haven't even hit halftime yet.
No, we're still 28.4 seconds out of the half, and now he's going to head over to the bench for, the last 28 seconds of this half. But you don't want someone like that in foul trouble so early on, and that's what you just said. It's the risk. Yes, you want to have your big player out there, but if he's in foul trouble, you got to sit him down, and you got to let some time pass, or he may foul out, even if it's on a bad foul that he just didn't mean to commit.
And Torre makes him pay. Hits both free throws, a 13-point lead, and Torre is going to get a rest for the last possession here this first half.
Yeah, and Torre, 7 points in the half, plenty of assists, throwing the ball around to his teammates, getting Rose some assists, 20 points for Rose going into the half.
The Wolves will hold it for 1 shot here. Sage hasn't got going, but that could be a big jumper for him. Clock running down, 5 seconds. Down to 3. The jumper, and he's fouled. As Elijah Smith will go to the line to shoot 3 free throws. A very costly foul by Keuka.
0.6 seconds left, 2 free throws on the way. And now look at Keuka. 9 fouls in their own half. A lot of fouls to start off this game.
And Smith hits the first. It's a 12-point game.
And Keuka can't afford to make these fouls because SUNY Poly is capitalizing on most of their free throws and not missing from the cherry stripe. Because there's a second right there. That's what Poly is, why they have the lead they have. They have been making the free throws and the easy shots that they need to make while Keuka has been struggling from the charity stripe.
Smith makes all 3. 1 last chance and a turnover. As that one doesn't count, but Coach Jake Scott of Keuka beside himself at the official on that last call there. Just could not get there in time to stop the three-pointer, ends up fouling him. And now, instead of an 11-point lead, it's a 14-point lead for the Wildcats. And they should be booming with confidence. They only had 29 points yesterday in the first half. Now 48 up on the board in this one.
Yeah, they're on pace for almost 100 points in this game. SUNY Poly looks like they fixed about every mistake they had yesterday. Maybe the mistake was not enough dishes from Torre. Maybe Rose wasn't getting fed the ball. I'm not sure what it was, but whatever the coach told him to fix this has been working flawlessly for the Wildcats, while Keuka continues to have their struggles, in my opinion, mainly from the free throw line, missing those free shots that they're being given, with Poly fouling like crazy. But again, Keuka, 9 fouls on the board themselves, but SUNY Poly is converting those free throws and making the easy shots.
Of course, 34 points up on the board. It's not a bad start for Keuka. They just have not been able to handle things on the defensive side. I mean, of course, looking at the defensive side, it's different ways to stop Rose. Torre's gotten going a little bit towards the end of the half. Just the overall, we talked about it during the half, just the overall goal now at halftime. What do you need to do defensively? Because SUNY Poly's at a rapid rate right now.
Yeah, SUNY Poly is. The other thing is they have so many factors today that are hot. Everybody came in thinking Torrey was going to be the guy, and right now Torrey, 7 points on the board, but look at his assists. He's dishing around to all of his teammates. He's making Rose look like an all-star out there, while Rose is playing fantastic and getting some good looks from his teammates. While I look at Josh Ernst is making some good shots as well. If Rose isn't down low, Ernst is down low, and Ernst is making shots. I think they got to figure out some sort of zone to control the big men, because the big men so far, top of the key, shots are going in, down low, they're making shots. I think they got to figure out a zone to slow down Rose and Ernst and cut down those lanes and give Torrey no easy passes to his teammates, which he's been racking up so far in this game.
Well, that will do it for the first half of action, the consolation game of the Max Ziel tournament. Zach Malamud, Kenny Gerard, Emily Mike here on WTOP 10. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back for the halftime report after the break. Stay tuned on WTOP 10.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Shine on that boy. Look at the bling. Look at do we got a diamond tester on? Yeah, that's getting bad. Yep.
10 out of 10 recommend on Yelp.
We're going to the playoffs. I can't believe I missed that. Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone. What? I should take your phone away. No. I'll call for a ride. Hey, why does my face look like that?
I'm playing with these new face filters.
Okay, you know what? Yep, that's mine. I'm gonna need that back. No. Kevin!
Say, President Stanley, whenever there's bad weather, who would you turn to?
I'd turn to Storm Team 10.
No, but you've got to say it like this. Storm Team 10. Say it with me. Storm Team 10.
Roll it.
Jill told me it was Kitty from Glee. Yeah, what is it?
Al Roker.
Welcome back to the Space Jam. I'm not Bugs, this is not Marvin Martian, and this is not Tweety Bird. We're still Matt, Garrett, Melinda. We're getting into your halftime report. How are we feeling after the first half?
You know, interesting game so far. I think
Yeah.
many of us expected the Wolves to have the lead entering the halftime. We're seeing a reverse of the script. We'll see what happens in the next 20 minutes.
Listen, I'm willing to admit when I am wrong. Poly has been able to close in on those shooting lanes and get up defensively on those players, and so that's been really important for their game.
So far, predictions like down the road, out the window.
Oh, yeah.
So let's get into that halftime report. We'll see the half summary here at the bottom, a little scoreboard of what's going on. Just kind of talk about the first half. A lot of fouls.
Yeah.
And that's been really the difference maker here is the foul discrepancy. It hasn't hurt Poly yet. They're way up in terms of discrepancy. Will it hurt them going forward?
I certainly think it will, just because when you have a team like the Wolves entering that bonus points where they're going to the free throw line basically at will now, I mean, it's credit to them, the fact that the Wolves are not been converting on those free throws as much as the Lakers did yesterday. So for the Wildcats, you kind of be like, you know, it's a little bit of a pain and pleasure kind of thing. You've kind of taken a thing where you've inflicted a lot of fouls, but at the same time, you're heading into the half with a lead. So it's a little bit of a reverse script. Wildcats could go into the halftime, into the locker room saying, hey, we got to just tone down the physicality just a little bit.
Absolutely. How do you think the Wildcats coach is going to combat with his players being really physical? How do you think he's going to keep them out of foul trouble moving forward?
You know, I think it's going to come down to their ability to pace themselves a little bit better and more effectively, keeping, again, getting back down to basics and defending effectively, getting low in the paint, and arms big up and high.
Arms big up and high. That's what they teach in fundamental basketball.
Oh, yeah.
Stand there like this. But yeah, let's talk about the physicality for a little bit. We've seen it on both ends. Just kind of run me through how they can tone that down, in specific, the physical aspect of the game.
Well, with the Wildcats, with players like Milton and Sage, who are shorter in size, just try to stand in front of them. Don't jump, preemptively, or try to bite at the what's the term? Bite at the cookie, whatever it is. Just don't be over aggressive. Jump at the gun too early, just because at that point the Wolves can take advantage, because they see the fact that the Wildcats are pretty jumpy in terms of defending shots in the paint and trying to get those mid-range jumpers to sink. Unfortunately, with the Wolves, you haven't had those shots sink, so you have to let the Wildcats, let those guys, unless they've been making those shots consecutively and at a rapid pace, don't feel like you have to be over-aggressive and over-assert yourself on defense.
Absolutely. Well, do you think the Wolves need to actually turn the notch up defensively a little bit?
I do. I think that getting back on rebounds is really important as well. We've seen a couple of opportunities where they've been able to go up the court and get some fast breaks, and so I think that combination, as well as landing their shots more effectively, it's going to be a game changer.
Right, and the offense just hasn't been there. But for Poly, it kind of has been there. It's been led by one guy. Your player to watch. Talk about him. Let's hear it.
Yes, our player to watch, Rose. He offensively, he's been able to get open and be that forward, that sophomore stepping up and getting available, and then defensively he's able to shut down in the paint. He's able to post up on those shots and cut off those fast breaks that Keuka has been working on.
The greatest Rose to ever play basketball?
I think so. Some thorns with the fouls, but
Yeah, he's no D-Rose, but he's doing well tonight at the Max Ziel. What about you, Garrett? Standout player so far in this game?
I chose Christian Sage, standing out for not the right reason, though. The fact that we saw him yesterday putting up 25 points in the game against Engineers yesterday. Today it's been a non-factor. Same with Milton a little bit. They've been over-aggressive at trying to get themselves into the lane. The problem is with the big bodies of the Wildcats, every time they make a charge, you have two defenders from the Wildcats converging in. By that time, you're just looking to pass it off or dish it off. And that's why we've seen so many instances where the Wolves, the shot clock expires because it's been Milton, it's been Sage. They've been trying to be the ones that have making the shots, utilize the other players. And that's why with Sage, when you expect him to shoot from the three-point range and now he's going in toward the mid-range, it's a little bit of a thing where Wildcats, they saw this coming now. They know that Sage could kill them from the three-point outside the arc. Now you can work inside. The thing is, the Wildcats are ready.
Right, they're a team that likes to stretch, and I think that this team needs to turn the notch up in terms of aggression, in terms of the physicality. You've seen it from Poly. They've come into this game hungry. What do the Wolves have to do to up the ante physically?
Well, physically, you kind of just have to make sure you play toward the Wildcats' aggressiveness. You see here where you're taking these charges. You got to put yourself in that position. That was Elijah Ellis, the senior guard, putting himself in that paint, putting himself in the lane of the basket, causing Brandon Holmes for the Wildcats to charge and have a foul go against him. So that's what the Wolves need to do. Kind of have the Wildcats, the aggressiveness, not just on the defensive side, but the offensive side hurt them a lot so that the Wolves, they could make most of those opportunities and kind of go on a run and get the Wildcats a little bit on their heels a little bit.
Absolutely. And for Keuka, just having a problem getting the Stars started, we mentioned that with Sage, with Milton. Melinda, what do you think that they need to do to get these Stars integrated into this game? Because right now they're non-factors.
You're right. Right now they are non-factors, and I think to kind of get them into the game, they really need to focus up and get those shots in the net and in the hoop.
Absolutely.
The net of the hoop.
It sounds like fundamental basketball. Find an open space, shoot the ball, get the ball through the hoop. It certainly hasn't gone Keuka's way. But what this really shows to me is it's a different defense right now from SUNY Poly.
Yeah. I mean, with Wildcats, they had a different game plan compared with what they did yesterday against the Lakers. They got 100 piece dumped on them. They had to change things up, and the Wolves did a good job of, or not the greatest job rather, of kind of putting the Wildcats in a position where you have to force them to make the shots. The Wolves haven't been sicking them at all, and the Wildcats, they've kind of give Wolves the benefit of the doubt to kind of be over-aggressive. Fortunately, the shots have not been sticking for the Wolves, so you got to figure out for the Wildcats, just reel back a little bit. Unless the Wolves go on like a 20-point run, you got to change it.
So far, not the outcome we expected, but we're going to see what happens in the second half of action. We're going to toss it to a quick break. When we come back, you'll be back with Kenny Gerard, Zach Malamud, and Emily Mike.
Hey there, I'm Al Roker, class of 76. Yes, way back in 76. Back when the earth was cooling. You're watching WTOP.
The Kinda Late Show with Chloe and Anna. Like licorice, Twizzlers, absolutely nasty. The thought of turkey is just nauseating.
I think you're wrong, is what I think.
You think I'm wrong a lot of times.
I do think you're wrong a lot.
When you look at the number of disasters in the U.S., chances are every area will deal with some kind of emergency in the next decade. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back inside Max Ziel Gymnasium as we get set for the second half of play in the consolation game of the Max Ziel tournament between SUNY Poly and Keuka. It is 48-34 SUNY Poly. Zach Malamud, Kenny Gerard, Emily Mike, our sideline reporter today. Kenny, that first half, SUNY Poly just went on that long run, and a lot of that had to do with their star man, number 5, Anthony Rose.
Well, Anthony Rose has been the main man with the plan for SUNY Poly. He's been great so far. 20 points, being fed by the guy who dropped it yesterday, Torre. Both looking excellent. Great passes from Torre. Great shots from Rose. And don't forget about the main man, Josh Ernst, as well. The big man down on the floor making plays as well for SUNY Poly.
And for Keuka, not a bad half of play when it came to scoring. They put up 34. That's pretty right there, like where they want to be. It was just defensively, they really struggled towards the latter stages of that first half and just got out of their rhythm. They were in a 3-2 zone, tried to switch things around, and it's just been Rose has beaten everything that they've thrown at him.
Yeah, that's right. Rose has been beating just about everything and throw at him. It's just difficult for them to find a rhythm on defense to lock down Rose and the rest of the players. Like we talked about as well, Ernst also getting down there, making plays. It seems difficult for them to find a rhythm so far. As Milton takes a nice 3 here.
Milton getting going early in the second half. He's up to 9 points on the afternoon. They actually, for Devin Milton, took a foul back, so he only has 3. That's a huge change for Keuka. He could be playing right now, and a lot of confidence in their graduate student.
Yeah, a huge change that is going to very heavily benefit Keuka. Taking away a foul, allowing him to play, because only one more after that, he was out of the game.
Anthony Rose picks up where he left off in that first half. He's up to 22, and we're trading buckets to start this second half as Ziel Camden Banks on the board there.
A little opposite of what we saw the first minute 30 of the first half with 0-0 on the scoreboard. Now we're seeing defensive breakdowns and offenses thrive. And we've already seen scores from each team.
Alex Schmidt finds Chickney Torre, Anthony Rose, LJ Randall in the lane. And a nifty move and a finger roll finish and a timeout for SUNY Poly.
Wow, an early timeout. And like I said, this has been an offensive battle now. We saw defenses thriving. Now we're seeing offenses come in. I'm not sure if we're seeing a defensive breakdown from both sides, maybe kind of forgetting that defense is extremely important and talking about the offense and the halftime. Or if just, both offenses were handled well last halftime and both offenses are now beginning to thrive. As we had previously mentioned, Rose up to 22 points, Milton up to 9 points. Quick points from both sides, making this a very interesting game so far.
And head coach Rob Schooner of SUNY Poly calls a timeout there. Interesting. They have a 13-point lead, but he may not like what he's seeing so far, maybe on the defensive end. Just calm things down. They have a 13-point lead. You don't want to lose it early in the second half.
Well, luckily for the Wildcats, they have been scoring just as much as Keuka. And, maybe he just didn't like the defensive breakdown. Maybe he's worried if they go on a cold spell that Keuka can come right back into this game.
Will Tini. Banks, a pull-up jumper, rattles around the rim. Torre for Poly. Rose. Schmidt. Looking for options, 15 on the shot clock. Torre. They're going to spread things out. The pick and roll action here. Schmidt. Torre. Ice cold from deep.
And that's what we seen yesterday out of Torre. Not as many passes and a whole lot of those. A three-pointer from Torre to extend the SUNY Poly lead.
55-39, SUNY Poly. Looking for a travel there. They get away with it, and Christian Sage trying to get going, makes the 3 there.
Yeah, the SUNY Poly bench thought there was a missed call there, and, well, Keuka don't care. Keuka wanted to make something out of that drive.
Jaden Kesey may have gotten away with one. Good defense there for Poly with Tinen. $17:25 remaining in the second half, 55-42 in favor of SUNY Poly. Pull-up jumper for Torre, no good, but the offensive rebound. Torre to Schmidt. Good work by Josh Ernst. Rose will take it on the inside. Hits the underside of the backboard. Milton, what a find. Sage in the middle. And the Wolves starting to go on a run here.
Yeah, this is probably why he called the timeout, because they're slowly starting to crawl back as their defense is beginning to lock down, while SUNY Poly still having a defensive breakdown here to start the second half.
Torre to Ernst. Torre rattles around the rim, tipped out of bounds. It's going to be Keuka ball.
Yeah, a very close shot there, a little toilet bowl action, but it pops back out. No shot there for Poly, and Keuka going to have a chance to bring their lead to less than double digits.
As Brandon Holmes comes back in for Schmidt. Hand off to Sage, and he was asking for a tip there. Nothing.
Yeah, not going to go his way. Just looks like a little bit of airmail there from Sage. And Poly's going to get the ball and try to extend their lead and get something going on offense after the hot start.
A lot of substitutions here. Josh Ernst goes out. Banks goes out for Keuka. And the Wolves trying to get a stop here. 11-point lead for SUNY Poly. Dylan Ernst finds LJ Randall. Anthony Rose. ISO ball inside. Who can stop him right now?
Well, the answer looks to be nobody. He's making those tough, deep inside plays look super easy, like he does it in his sleep.
Green to Kesey. Kesey finds T-Hen. A good drive into the lane, and Jake Scott's going to take a timeout there. 15:37 to go in this second half. 57-46 SUNY Poly. Zach Malamud, Kenny Gerard, Emily Mike here on WTOP 10. Thank you for joining us. And Kenny, a good time out there by Jake Scott and Keuka. Try and settle things down, and they've done a good job of going on a couple runs, just haven't been able to hold it.
Yeah, they're just not able to get the little jump on Poly. While they were getting a little bit closer, while Poly wasn't getting any shots, their defense was locking them up. Not that way anymore, it seems, as now SUNY Poly is making baskets while Keuka's making baskets. We're seeing a lot of offense coming on both ends of the court. For Keuka, if they want to come get this lead, they have to focus on shutting down SUNY Poly and, well, shutting down Rose.
Yeah, Rose has been a big-time player so far today. 24 points so far. He takes a seat, he'll get a rest right now. Just a big-time player for these Wildcats. Rose, the sophomore from the Bronx. Dylan Ernst to Chekne Torre. Holmes will try a three, it doesn't go. Sage to Green. Seahen, Sage. 15 on the shot clock. Green, Van de Mortel. Sage on the inside, the floater. What a shot by Christian Sage.
It looks like he caught Ernst and Holmes in their zone, a little confused, running around each other and just kind of breaking down their defense. Way to get through the defense of SUNY Poly.
Needed him to get going. Only 4 points in that first half. Was the leading scorer yesterday against RPI. He's up to 11. A good move on the other end. Comstock is able to get the bucket there. Foul called. It's going to be Van de Mortel who will go to the line. Foul called on Dylan Ernst. That's a big one. Number 4.
That is a big one. And you know what I also just noticed? This is the first foul of the half. We're well over 5 minutes in. At this point last half, we were seeing 6 fouls on SUNY Poly's side with a pair coming from Keuka. A lot more clean basketball and clean defense coming in the second half. Both teams kind of figuring out how to play the tight defense they've been playing without fouling. And maybe that's why we're seeing a higher scoring second half, is the defenses are playing a little less aggressive, allowing better shots for each team to come.
A couple substitutions for both teams. Holmes goes out, so does T-Hen. It's 59-48. Turnover for Torre. Sage. Milton. Van de Mortel from deep. And he knocks it down. And all of a sudden, the lead is single digits.
And here they come. Keuka starting to bring a little bit closer. SUNY Poly trying to make something happen.
Ernst. And it looked like he traveled there. One official called the foul, the other one called the travel, and it's going to be a travel in the end.
A little ref confusion sometimes, but they figure it out, and I think they got the right call there.
Josh Ernst 11 points so far today. Rob Schoner is beside himself on the SUNY Poly bench. It's Keuka looking to cut this deficit. Shot from Abuense. And all of a sudden, the lead's down to 6, and right there and then, Anthony Rose comes off the bench.
And they're letting the Wolves howl a little bit here. They're starting to claw their way back, while the Wildcats are not looking their best right now. As there's another missed shot by Torre.
Big offensive rebound. Big offensive rebound by Josh Ernst. Lead back up to 8. Tipped around, Sage in the lane. Looking for the foul. No call. Torre. How about Smith? And it was either travel or stepped out of bounds. It was called out of bounds. And Keuka will get the ball back.
Yeah, it looks like he stepped on the green line over there, just out of bounds. And, well, a costly mistake for Smith, and it's going to give Keuka back the ball to try and close up this lead that SUNY Poly's got on him.
Anthony Rose comes back into this one. Milton in the corner. What a move. Devin Milton.
Well, that's the Devin Milton we saw yesterday. Beautiful little windmill action there to send it home.
Lead back down to 6. 61-55. The Wildcats still lead it. Josh Ernst, top of the key. 12 on the shot clock, down to 10. Rose. He takes it in the lane of Wense. Got his hand way too close there, and Rose just going to keep drawing fouls there. He's going to go to the line for 2.
Yeah, you know, we haven't seen a lot of Rose as much the second half. He's been shut down a lot more, and maybe that's why Keuka has been able to claw their way back.
It's Rose. At the line. He can't hit. It's a 7-point game right now. Poly with it. Baseline out of bounds. Rose. And he gets it back. As we're going to send it down to our sideline reporter, Emily Mike. Emily, what do you got for us? As some technical difficulties with Emily, Mike, we apologize. Rose at the line extends the lead to 9. We'll try and get Emily back in a little bit. Abuense. And looking for the foul. What a tough bucket by Abuense.
Abuense, you heard the ball thump on the court. He was pushing his way in, using his body, and just puts up a nice layup.
Torre down to Rose, and the response from Anthony Rose. How about 29 on the afternoon?
Rose, have a day. 29, and we still have half of this half left. Have a day, Anthony Rose. He's looking electric with another shot coming to try and get the easy, quote-unquote, 3-pointer.
Rose looking to get to 30 on the afternoon. 11:36 to go. Nails the free throw. He's up to 30 on the day. Tipped away, and SUNY Poly thought Ernst tipped it off Van de Mortel. Still Keuka ball 67-57. Abuense Green will try a deep three. It's water from deep.
What a shot by Green. Long range three, and he sends it home.
Green up to 5 points on the day. On the inside, Rose, and he can't hit it. 10:45 to go. A 7-point lead for SUNY Poly. Vanda Mortel. Maybe a heat check there for Keuka from deep. Couldn't get it to fall. But the Wolves on a run right now.
Yeah, and SUNY Poly looking to claw back just a little bit. What a shot there before it went in.
Looking for a foul there was Brandon Holmes. Didn't get the call. The Wolves looking to answer, can't get it. Milton, offensive rebound, he's fouled on the inside.
What a way to pick up the 2 free throws for his team, try to put up 2 easy points, and close this lead down to only 5 points for Poly, the closest we've seen it in a while.
It's going to be on Josh Ernst. It's going to be his first. Milton at the line. Milton hits the second one. It's a 5-point game now.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to do on the cherry stripe, put up those 2 easy points and bring it into a 5-point game. Keuka's now closer than they've been in a long time, and SUNY Poly has got to start to lock it down, or maybe feed Rose the ball with 30 points so far, trying to get a few more on the board for him.
Could be huge for the Wildcats. A foul called to reach in on Keuka. It's going to go on Zeke Pulliam. His first, team's fourth. Torre finds Ernst. Rose. Torre. Back to Rose. 8 on the shot clock. Rose, baseline. Into the lane. And the left-handed finish. It's up to 32.
32 points, left hand, right hand, doesn't matter. Anthony Rose having a great day. Look at that. Open lane for Zeke Pulliam to get the answer right back to SUNY Poly.
Pulliam with his first points on the afternoon. It's a 5-point game, 9:15 to go in this second half. Comstock. Torre. A big bucket for SUNY Poly, and they're going to take a timeout with 9:04 remaining in the second half. It's 71-64 in favor of SUNY Poly. As we're going to send it down to our sideline reporter once again, Emily Mike. Go ahead.
All right. SUNY Poly's already been proving me wrong. They've pretty much led the game throughout the first half and now. But it's a really close game. Sometimes these scores are only differing by a couple points, and both teams are getting pretty rowdy, which, I mean, none of them are based here, so it's interesting that even for a consolation game, they're butting heads this much. There's a good amount of fouls from Keuka, but they're coming back. It's going to be really interesting to see who can come out on top. We're seeing really good action from Anthony Rose and Elijah Smith and LJ Randall on SUNY Poly, and from Keuka we're seeing good action from Christian Sage, Kobe Shriver, and Mason Vandermoort. See a really good game, and I can't wait to see who comes on out. All right, back to you guys.
Thank you, Emily. Great stuff there as we come out of the timeout now. 7-point lead for SUNY Poly. And for Poly, they got the bucket there, but they've just been struggling in the second half to find points.
Yeah, they have been struggling to find points. I'm not sure if it's going to be bad offense or Keuka's defense finally finding that rhythm we were talking about, to be able to lock down Rose a little bit tighter and start to play some better defense and making this a much closer contest than it could have been if the defense continued to struggle the way they were in that first half.
Coming down the stretch here, Van de Mortel can't hit the three and dives out of bounds, can't save it. Good hustle there, 8:40 to go in the half.
Yeah, great hustle there by Van de Mortel, and well, just not enough, little superhero action there to get that ball back in bounds. It's going to go over to SUNY Poly and try and extend their lead.
T-Hen will come back in. Zeke Pulliam will take a seat for Keuka. Wolves looking for a stop here. Torre. Can't get that one to go. Van de Mortel from deep, he can't hit. Schmidt. I don't know if Torre saw, but he had Rose wide open down the floor. A couple bodies flying around, and the Wolves will have it. Sage around Torre, and he got a hand on it. What a block by Chikne Torre.
What a block is right. Great defense by Torre. He's passing, he's blocking, he's shooting. He's doing a real good job for SUNY Poly. And a huge piece of their puzzle and a great leader as well.
Good pass in the paint. Josh Ernst denied by Van de Mortel. And it's going to be a backcourt violation. One of the officials is going to come talk.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was smacked over the backcourt by Rose or what exactly happened there, so we're going to have a conversation to see what the call is officially going to be.
And Rob Schoner is beside himself once again with the official.
Yeah, he is absolutely beside himself is the best way of putting it. A look of frustration, and he trots back to his bench with his hands up in the air. Very frustrated.
Can't believe the call. 7:30 to go. Kristen Sage in the lane and gets the foul call. Came a little late there, but Sage going to go to the line to shoot two. He's got 11 on the day right now. 7 of those have come in the second half.
Yeah, Sage is having a great second half, looking to tack on 2 more easy points and close down the lead to just 5 points again. Well, SUNY Poly is really trying to keep that lead extended. They're just kind of back and forth, both teams so far.
Sage rattles the rim on the first one. Senior guard from Owego, not Oswego.
Not to be confused with Oswego. Owego.
There you go. Owego, New York. Van de Mortel checks out for Keuka, and Sage, very uncharacteristically, misses both free throws. Was 2 for 2 yesterday from the line. And it's going to be 10 seconds, as we can see it here. 19 seconds on the clock, on the shot clock, and SUNY Poly wasn't able to get over the backcourt line.
Well, it's pretty simple math. 30 minus 10. Yeah, I think that would be a 10-second violation. I think we're onto something here.
T-Hen inbounds to Sage. Almost losing it was Kesey. And a turnover for Aguense. A big one with 6:54 to go in the game.
Yeah, another big turnover has been the name of the game. Turnovers have changed momentum many, many times, and SUNY Poly trying to hope that turnover to push them forward in the momentum of this game.
Poly looking to get something going. It's been a bit of a struggle in this second half. Rose almost had it tipped away. Randall finds Rose. 5 on the shot clock. Rose, 3 guys around him. Schmidt from the corner. Oh my goodness, almost sunk it. The offensive rebound for Josh Ernst, and the lead's back up to 9.
They can never look over Josh Ernst with his 15th point of the night. He gets that offensive board. I'm sure he's going up with it.
Ablense can't hit from deep. Sage on the inside can't hit. Was trying to find Milton, but a turnover. Bounce pass down low. Josh Ernst once again. Timeout, Keuka. 75-64, SUNY Poly. A good run for the Wildcats, and they have an 11-point lead with 5:52 to go.
A good run by Josh Ernst. Incredible play. He's just cutting through the lanes, making the tough shots, getting the tough boards, and he's making it look easy down the paint. If it's not Rose down there doing that, it's going to be Ernst down there doing that, and that is what has been working for SUNY Poly. That duo of Ernst and Rose down low has been phenomenal so far, and to me, I think that's why they have the 11-point lead this late into the game.
Yeah, you mentioned it, Kenny. I mean, a lot of these guys, they're relying on their heavy scores. Rose has been huge today with 32. Then you got Josh Ernst with 17 points. You also have Chekne Torre with 12. Just relying on those heavy scorers, and that's been the key for SUNY Poly this afternoon.
Yeah, they're feeding to the guys who are scoring the most, and it's just been working well. We saw yesterday, Torre had the ball a lot, was at no assists yesterday. He's dishing it around today to other guys, allowing them to perform well. Ernst, Rose, showing what they can do today, and showing that maybe yesterday it was not their best performance, but they have it in them to perform, and right now they're showing it on the scoreboard. 75 points for Keuka. You can't really call them out here. I mean, 64 points, still a solid number, still dishing the ball around, but you look at their score chart, a lot different. Sage with 11. You're seeing Green with 5. You're seeing T-Hen with 5. You're seeing the ball go around a lot, and you're seeing a lot of depth shots. You're seeing their bench get shots. You're not really just seeing what we saw yesterday. It's not just the Devin Milton show anymore. You're seeing the ball get passed around, and they're trying to use their bench to their advantage.
Yeah, that's a great point, Kenny, is really spreading the ball out. Keuka's done this afternoon. Maybe it's hurt them a little bit more rather than help them with those heavy scores. Really struggling to get going so far this afternoon. Milton is one of those guys. He's going to be fouled by LJ Randall. It's going to be the 4th team foul on SUNY Poly, but Milton will go to the line to shoot 2.
Yeah, and now we were just talking about Milton. Here he is again, trying to put up 2 easy points and cut the lead back to single digits for Keuka.
He hits the first, and it's a 10-point game. Milton, the grad student from Louisiana. As a lot of these players for Keuka have been in-state. They do have a couple from around the United States, Utah, Ohio, as well as Louisiana.
In Virginia.
And Virginia as well. Poly with it. 8 on the shot clock. Randall. Torre. Down to 3. Ernst. Front rim. But gets the offensive rebound. He's had a couple in the second half. They've been huge for the Wildcats.
Yeah, great play down, getting those offensive rebounds. Crucial to keeping Keuka from scoring and trying to mount a comeback.
Torre can't hit the 3. T-Hen falling out of bounds, gets the rebound. He'll get it to Sage.
Way to box out for T-Hen and get the board and get the ball back on their side of the court.
The Wolves needing a bucket here. Down 9, 4:40 to go. T-Hen. Banks. Back to T-Hen. 10 on the shot clock. T-Hen on the inside. Back rim. And a foul called on Banks. And Poly will have possession. 5th team foul on Keuka.
Yeah, we're starting to see a little bit more fouls starting to pick up, but I mean 5 to 4 fouls at 4:32 left in the game. Way less fouls than we saw in that first half.
Schmidt finds Torre. Over to Schmidt. And the Wolves putting on some pressure here in the half court. Torre gets around the screen. A nifty move to the rim, and he finishes. 14 on the night. Milton looking to answer. And it's going to be a reach-in foul on LJ Randall. 5th team foul for SUNY Poly. So it's going to be baseline out of bounds for the Wolves. As they're going to want to wipe the floor here with Randall falling down.
Yeah, and you heard the coach say it himself. Don't want a slippery floor. Don't want anybody to get hurt out here.
They're going to chop the feet. They're going to bring out the broom.
Look at Tyler Green go. Tyler Green can do it all, apparently. He can clean the floor and he can play basketball.
There you
Impressive.
go. Impressive stuff. 3:58 to go. 77-66 SUNY Poly. Zach Malin, Kenny Gerard, Emily Mike on WTOP 10. A three comes in from T-Head. And it's a single-digit lead once again. Rhodes. Back to Torre. Josh Ernst. Finds Torre. 10 on the shot clock. Ernst. Ernst in the paint. It's too easy right now.
What we say earlier, feed the big man, get the big man the ball, and well, the big man has been delivering. Ernst making some beautiful shots, and there he is again getting a great defensive rebound. It's been Ernst all second half.
19 on the afternoon for him. 3:05 to go. Poly's leads back up to 10. Josh Ernst. It's going to be a blocking foul as Milton couldn't get there in time.
Yeah, and it looks like Poly's going to get to toss it in here and try to extend their lead as they're only up 10 now. 2:59 to go here in the second half.
Sideline out of bounds. Schmidt gets it in to Torre. 15 on the shot clock. Rose. Torre. What a jumper. Check Nate Torre. How about a clutch bucket? Has 16 on the afternoon. And the lead's back up to 12, 2:44 to go in this one. And Kenny, the big scorer is just really stepping up. Josh Ernst did it a moment ago, and now check Nate Torre for SUNY Poly.
Yeah, we're hearing the same big names today. Torre, Rose, and well, Ernst have been fantastic. And they're doing exactly what they need to do. Earlier on, Keuka seemed to have them figured out a little bit better than they do now. Well, now we're seeing these guys, maybe they found out Keuka's scheme, maybe they figured out what they were doing and they adjusted to it. As the half has gone on, we've seen them adjust to Keuka's defense, dish the ball a little bit more, and break down their defense. We've seen guys getting confused on Keuka, running into each other, breaking down the zone, and it's allowing with the broken down zone to catch a lane to bring it inside for the easy bucket. You don't need all threes to win a basketball game. Just those lanes and those easy layups and those finger rolls and beautiful windmill shots that the fans at home go, ooh, are always good.
Definitely, Kenny. And looking at Keuka, it's a 12-point deficit with 2:40 to go. It's probably about time for quick buckets and just getting high pressure on defense. You're probably going to have to turn on the full court press here.
Yeah, I wouldn't say you absolutely slam on the panic button yet, but I definitely say you turn up the dial a good chunk at this point. 2:44, down a lot. I mean, not a lot, but I mean, you're down a good chunk. You got to turn up a little bit. That full court press, try to stop Poly from getting any shots. But your only risk when you're doing that full court press, if one of the Poly players dusts them, they're in trouble.
As T-Hen will be there to inbound for Keuka. Sage. Milton and Green. Milton needs a bucket here from the elbow. It's off the front rim, and Torre can easily grab the rebound. Torre to Josh Ernst. Rose. Shot clock down to 10. Rose to Torre. Good move. Double teamed. Looking for Rose down low, and he turns it over. Sage looking to move quickly. Milton. Pump fake. Inside, and it doesn't go. Tihen there for the offensive rebound. And Keuka really needs to put on the press here, as Poly just breaks through it easily.
Yeah, that full court press not doing much. That's why I mentioned earlier, if they get down and break down your press, you're in trouble.
And a foul is going to be called on Van de Mortel. That's going to be the 7th team foul, and we're in 1-on-1 territory.
Yes, we are. That's going to be Van de Mortel's 3rd foul of the game.
It's going to be Josh Ernst at the line. Sinks the first one. He's up to 20.
And you look at SUNY Poly, they now have 2 players over 20 points in the game, one with 32 and one with 20. Great depth on their bench, letting their big guys shoot, and that's what's working for SUNY Poly as time winds down, 1:33 left.
The Sage is driving inside. A foul was called before. Believe it's going to be a foul on LJ Randall. It's actually not. It's going to be on Josh Ernst. Maybe a reach-in foul as Sage was driving in there. Tihen. Corner 3 from Green is no good. Now 1:20 on the clock, and SUNY Poly's looking to wrap this thing up. Torre. You're going to let him go ISO ball on Van de Mortel. Give me something. Chickney Torre can't hit it, as Anthony Rose is there to clean it up.
That's what you're expecting to see down in the paint, making great offensive rebounds and giving up those second chance points.
And Keuka can't answer there. 85-71, and the clock's running down. We're at 40 seconds. Rose gets it to Ernst. Down to Rose. Gives it away. Tihen. Sage gets the offensive rebound. Puts it back up. 13 on the afternoon for him.
Yeah, Sage doing his best effort in the comeback effort for Keuka. Was looking just to be a little bit too out of hand with 20 seconds coming up. Poly looking to polish this thing off.
And Schmidt gets it to Torre. 13 on the clock. Rose. Back to Schmidt, and that will do it for the consolation game here at Max Ziel Gymnasium. As SUNY Poly gets their first victory of the year, they defeat Keuka College by a final score of 85-73. And we talked about it countless times throughout the day. Anthony Rose, 34 points. Josh Ernst, 21 points. Chickney Torre, 16 points. And Keuka just had no answer for those high-powered scorers.
No, they had no answers for the guys who are hitting the buckets. They just could not stop Rose up top, down low, and Ernst was making plays, offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds, layups, tough drives. Ernst was making it happen, while Chickney Torre was making it happen as well, dishing around to his teammates, making some deep threes, making those mid-range jumpers that we had talked about a lot that seemed ugly, but he made the ugly shots work for SUNY Poly, and I think it's that big three to me is why they pull away with the victory over the Keuka College Wolves today.
So a huge victory for the Wildcats today. And that's not it from the Max Ziel tournament here in Max Ziel Gymnasium in Oswego, New York. So we're going to get ready for Oswego State taking on RPI. We're going to take a quick break here on WTOP 10, and then we'll have Garrett and everybody in the studio get you set for the second matchup. But the first one finishes here, 85-73 in favor of SUNY Poly.
Hey there, I'm Al Roker, class of 76. Yes, way back in 76. Back when the earth was cooling. You're watching WTOP.
The Kinda Late Show with Chloe and Anna. Like licorice, Twizzlers, absolutely nasty.
The thought of turkey is just nauseating.
I think you're wrong, is what I think.
You think I'm wrong a lot of time.
I do think you're wrong a lot.
When you look at the number of disasters in the U.S., chances are every area will deal with some kind of emergency in the next decade. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Put the keys down, Kevin. But I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
I guess I have really been looking for love in this dating app. Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
Welcome back to Major Discussions.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Hey there, I'm Al Roker, class of 76. Yes, way back in 76. Back when the earth was cooling. You're watching WTOP.
Welcome back. It's time for more ball talk here on WTOP 10. And like Vince Carter in the dunk contest, that last game is over. It's over. But we got to still talk about it a little bit here. A lot happened, a lot of good things for SUNY Poly. Not really the script Keuka Wolves really wanted to follow, and a lot of wrong predictions around at this table. So let's kind of recap this game here, shall we? Garrett, a lot of three-point opportunities. You saw Tyler Green, he nailed one for the Keuka Wolves, Hall of Fame limitless range badge back from the top of the arc. But really, there's a lot of three-pointers being shot in this in the gym today.
It seems like the Wolves, they kind of stuck with the same strategy and just chucking up threes, and that's the I think that's what held them back today. It's the fact that they relied too much on the three ball. And you saw playmakers like Sage and Devin Milton, where you thought you would expect much more contributions from them, but a lot of opportunities where they had these good three-point baskets from deep, but it just seemed like the more they attempted it, it just felt like the Wildcats responded by putting them well out of reach. And, with the Wolves, now they're 0-2. They start their season kind of winless, and now they got to move forward, trying to change up the strategy a bit because you can't keep relying on the three-point ball all the time.
No, and I mean, even going back to yesterday, they shot like 11 for 31 from beyond the arc. The numbers kind of translated over again today. A lot of threes, a lot of misses. But for Poly, I mean, they really got things going on the offense. It was a completely different team kind of out of left field for SUNY Poly.
Gas was on, stove was heating. We saw Rose with 34 points in this game. That was an intense change from yesterday's only 4, so 30-point difference, which is insane. And I think it speaks volumes to their defense as well when you talk about Keuka's 3-point game. Poly was able to collapse in the middle of the paint so that Keuka was unable to really get in it and effectively get those shots into the hoop.
Let's talk more about the play from Keuka. A lot of missed opportunities on both sides of the court. So
when we think about the missed opportunities of Keuka and we want to talk about their inability to get past Poly's defense. So despite the amount of fouls that were happening with Poly, Keuka wasn't able to get past their aggression and effectively get those shots up. That you saw a lot of penetration towards the paint and then a lot of forced kickouts. And so then those shots that they were taking weren't necessarily lined up how they needed to be.
Yeah, and you want to talk about missed opportunities. I think there's a big elephant in the room. Christian Sage and Milton, where were they?
They did not show up today. You saw Sage and Milton. They put up a 20-piece yesterday. You thought that we'd see more of them. They didn't have that here this afternoon. And I think the main issue, Melinda kind of talked about it. When you have Sage and Milton going to that Wildcats where they have a lot larger bodies. So for Sage and Milton, you really have that height disadvantage when it comes to getting underneath in the paint. And we kind of saw that today where they tried driving into the lane. They got stopped immediately because you're met by 2 Wildcat defenders. So you're forced that kick out, and you're at a point where you're passing it around more than getting an open high shot opportunity. That's not how good offense works in the game of basketball, and you keep having these moments where you're passing around the perimeter, points where you're driving in, and all of a sudden you're immediately bottled up. You gotta change that up because we saw that through all 40 minutes where it's just the same thing over and over again with the Wolves. They're not really having that good ball movement, not finding those open lanes where the Wildcats, they had that over-aggressiveness in the first half, completely dialed it back. And I think it benefited them in the second half. That's why they're starting the season 1-1.
Right, I mean, they stayed out of foul trouble, and then for the Wolves, it was tough to get really anyone involved. Basketball's a game of runs. Poly had a bunch of great runs in this game. Keuka had like 1 or 2. They trailed the entire game. They really couldn't have that momentum boost. But that's enough about this game. We're gonna turn the page over to the championship game. So congratulations to the Wildcats for winning the consolation game. But we got to talk about the Oswego Lakers and RPI now. What are you expecting here in this game, especially from RPI standpoint?
From an RPI standpoint, you're going to see a lot of the big 3 guys: Johnny Ngbazo, Dylan Matchin, Avery Ukster, and then the supplemental big pieces with Andrew Deppie and PJ Scalisi. What you're going to see from this Engineers offense is they're going to dish it around. Ngbazo's going to be the one running point. He's going to be the one that's coordinating this Engineers offense. And you're going to have some guys in the post. You're going to have guys in the paint. You're going to have guys circling around the perimeter. That's what Engineers offense, that's what we saw yesterday. That's what they've been doing over the past couple of years. That's why they've been so good in the Liberty League, always finishing close to the top. So with the Engineers offense, I expect a much similar game plan. It's just that how with the Lakers changes with Coach Leon, he's probably going to dial back on the aggressive nature of the defense. It's probably something where the Engineers, they're going to have to play a little bit different, not play into the Lakers' strengths.
I completely agree. I mean, the RPI Engineers have to kind of stay honed to what they know how to do. They showed out yesterday. But for the Lakers, kind of a different thing that we've seen based off game script was a lot of the second unit getting involved. Do you think Leon keeps that up today just to see what the options he has, lay some cards out on the table, see what works? Or do you think it's going to be a more star-studded performance today?
I think we're probably going to start out star-studded. And then I think it'll really be determined by how the star-studded cast of players ends up doing to see if we can get some more of those newer players in there. I'm excited to see Jamal Akile as a forward tonight. I think last night he had a great game. He had 8 points within the 18 minutes that he played. He had 3 rebounds. I think it'll be interesting seeing Cartier Bowman as well. He had a great game as well. He had 16 points within the 18 minutes that he played, and it'll be an interesting matchup.
Absolutely. So we're gonna end the stream right now. We're gonna come back pretty soon for the second game of action, and we'll switch things back over here on WTOP 10.
We're so hot.